All right. Eddie Hearns. Oh man, Eddie Hearn. Just done proved it. Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn have no intention on fighting Deontay Wilder ever. And what Eddie Hearn just said about that fight proves it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua are widely known to be, considered to be, the top three heavyweights in the world. I do believe that it is fair to say that Tyson Fury is the top heavyweight in the world. I would put him there because he beat Deontay Wilder, but that issue is not settled, right? Because there's another champion. First of all, he's got a rematch to take with Deontay Wilder, and he's got to get out of that awake. And then the other side of it is that you have Anthony Joshua, who has the other three major championship belts, and is also a legitimate threat, right? And so there's been a lot of conversations about fight taking place between the two current champions. One being, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, right? But there's hurdles to it. And the hurdles are that Deontay Wilder has a rematch clause and that Anthony Joshua has a mandatory put forward to him by the IBF. And both of those fighters, both of the opponents, two of those fighters are Bob Arum fighters, Tyson Fury and Pulev, right? So somebody asked about this step aside, right? In order for the fight to happen between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder would have to step aside, right? And that's something that happens in boxing where one guy has a commitment to fight someone else and they want to put it on pause to do something else. So they will give them step aside money or, like the word says, to step aside and let the fight happen. In order for now, this is a lot of this talk about Deontay Wilder stepping aside is just mumbo jumbo. It's just what it is. It's not something that's real. Deontay Wilder has never said that he was going to step aside. There's a lot of money on the table for Deontay Wilder. There's not enough money out there to pay the dude to step aside. These are all, aside from the talk that goes back and forth, these are all pretty much widely known facts. Bob Arum, first of all, Deontay Wilder has never asked for step aside money. And number two, Bob Arum, if he did ask for it, wouldn't have it to give. So because you're talking about $20 million, not 10 million. You're talking about $20 million, $25 million in step aside money to make it worth Deontay Wilder's time not to go take the fight with Tyson Fury. Especially, and then you need to add a little bit of extra change to it because because there's not a very high likelihood that Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua would keep their promise to fight him if the step aside scenario was actually formalized. So what is Eddie Hearn? But that's not the point of the video, right? That is good to know information to put what I'm going to say in context, right? So looking at when Eddie Hearn was asked about the step aside money, Eddie Hearn says, he says exactly what I said. Look, I don't know where the $10 million or $20 million is coming from step aside money. Deontay Wilder's not asking for a step aside. And Bob Arum, so he squashed that. But then what he said after that, I was like, yeah, there you go. He said, and I wouldn't be willing to agree to fight Deontay Wilder if Anthony Joshua, as he would not be willing. Eddie Hearn, I would not be willing to fight to put in a contract that if Anthony Joshua beats Tyson Fury, that Anthony Joshua will next fight Deontay Wilder. He said he wouldn't do it. Now, his logic was, well, why would we do that? Deontay Wilder would be gone. He would be done. There would be no need to fight him. Because, if we beat Tyson Fury, we're either going to want to fight Tyson Fury twice. Maybe if we beat Tyson Fury, maybe we'd fight Tyson Fury again. But we wouldn't agree to give to fight Deontay Wilder and give Deontay Wilder 40% of the purse for the fight between us. We wouldn't do that. Yeah, I know you wouldn't do it. Just like you wouldn't do it before when Deontay Wilder said he would fight Dillian White if you put Anthony Joshua's name on the contract. So this would be the second time that Eddie Hearn would refuse to make a fight between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder in that fashion, which tells me that Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn have no intention whatsoever to fight Deontay Wilder. And I'm going to tell you this flat out, if Deontay Wilder beat Tyson Fury by knockout, they still wouldn't fight him. They still wouldn't fight him. There still would be, oh no, you're asking for too much money. You lost to Tyson Fury. We're the A side. All of that stuff would be going off and spinning off again because this is the deal. The fact that Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder does not mean that Anthony Joshua is going to beat Deontay Wilder. And the fact that Deontay Wilder has the ability to knock you out cold with one shot is enough to keep Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn well away from him. And when in this particular interview, when Eddie Hearn said, why would we do it? Deontay Wilder is done. That statement right there tells you that's the fact. Because look at this, could lead you to reasonably believe that Eddie Hearn just don't want any part of him. Because imagine this. Imagine that that Deontay Wilder steps aside and Anthony Joshua fights Tyson Fury and beats Tyson Fury, right? Who else is there for him to fight? Who else is there for him to fight besides Deontay Wilder? Is he going to go fight Derek? Who's he going to go fight? Derek Chisora? Is he going to fight Daniel Dubois? Who's he going to go fight? Dillian White? There would literally be nobody without Tyson Fury in play. The situation goes right back to where it was, in that there's only Deontay Wilder to fight because he's the only other legitimately solid heavyweight that there is on that level. There's only 3 fighters that are on that level: Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder. And the fact that if Deontay Wilder with just one loss is done, tells you that they were looking for him to be done. They didn't stop fighting. They didn't care that Vladimir Klitschko had been knocked out, that Vladimir Klitschko had lost his last fight to Tyson Fury when they fought him. So why would they care that Deontay Wilder lost his last fight to Tyson Fury? Right? Vladimir Klitschko never held a belt, didn't hold a belt, and hadn't won a fight in 2 years, and Anthony Joshua still took the fight. Right? So why wouldn't he take the fight with Deontay Wilder? Why would he just then go off into the figure, oh, Deontay Wilder's off, he's off in the sunset, we don't need to fight him. Dude, just because a fighter loses one fight to one fighter does not mean that they are done in boxing. You just want him to be done. You want that right hand to be done and to have an excuse not to fight Deontay Wilder. Just like you had an excuse Eddie Hearn had an excuse not to fight Luis Ortiz. He said not a week after Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua fought that he was not going to fight. Even though he was not going to fight Luis Ortiz, even though the WBA, in order to Vladimir Klitschko and them to fight for the WBA title, they had to get Luis Ortiz to step aside because he was the number one man. He was the number one, and he had the mandatory shot at the WBA belt. And they asked Eddie Hearn and Klitschko, and those guys asked Luis Ortiz to step aside. Luis Ortiz stepped aside. Anthony Joshua fought Vladimir Klitschko, and Anthony Joshua then never fought Luis Ortiz. And said in the interview that I'm referring to that if they had to drop the belt, they would. If they had to drop the WBA belt in order not to fight Luis Ortiz, then maybe they would do that. So I just want to put it out there that Deontay Wilder Losing to Tyson Fury does not mean Deontay Wilder can never win a boxing match again. But it would mean that in the mind of people that just want to come up with an excuse to get rid of him altogether, which would clear the playing field for Anthony Joshua to go back and do exactly what he was doing. But now, let me be clear about this whole Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury thing. I don't believe that's real at all. I don't believe Anthony Joshua has any intention, or Eddie Hearn has any intention on making a fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. And watch, if they got into the situation where they were actually negotiating that, watch how the conversations turn to, oh no, Tyson Fury is asking for 50-50 or 55-45. He doesn't deserve that. We're the big star. They're going to run from that. They're going to hide behind that A-side, B-side stuff for that as well. But he might be more willing to fight Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury is not a guy that is just going to knock you completely unconscious with one shot, right? So, maybe he'll have a little bit more leeway right there. But what Eddie Hearn's comments were today, in my opinion, it just completely expressed what I thought before about him. And that if Tyson Fury goes away, if Deontay Wilder beats Tyson Fury in the rematch, knocks him out, there's still not going to be an Anthony Joshua fight. Because they'll come up with some reason not to make that happen because they don't want to see Anthony Joshua get knocked out. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.